In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Sony 50mm f1.8 lens. You'll be seeing some test footage, sample photos, and if this all seems a bit rushed, it's because I filmed it yesterday. But before we get into that, let's roll that intro. Alright, so what's going on, everyone? Manuel here, and welcome to the channel. A quick note before we get started, I normally put out analog related content and tend to stay away from reviews. So if you like this video and would like to see more, yes, I'm saying it because statistics don't lie, call to actions work. So if you like it, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe for more content, and turn on notifications so you can swipe left on me later. With all that out of the way, although this is a review video, I'm not about to list off specs that you could look up online, because as I remember when I first got this lens, I did not give a shit about focusing distance or how sharp this was at f1.8, blah 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 blah. I'm not that guy. I just want to show what this lens can do for anyone who is looking into budget-friendly lenses after dropping in thousands of dollars on a Sony camera. Especially considering all the negative reviews out there prior to Sony's latest firmware update. Holy shit, I'm not used to talking this fast. You will be getting my long-term review at the end of this lens, as I did pick it up with my Sony a7 III back when that originally came out years ago. But again, as I remember going through YouTube looking for sample videos and photos while also jumping through a bunch of talking head videos with pixel peeping, I'm instead going to bring you along for a portrait shoot with my friend Selin in downtown Fullerton. We shot this a bit after golden hour just to really test the lens in less than ideal situations, which would have been on time prior to sunset. Kind of like I'm editing this video day of instead of putting it up at 8 a.m. Oops. Also, just a heads up, I have been leaning more towards black and white work lately, so you won't be seeing much color here. So if you'd like to see examples of that, you can click on this video where I shot it out in the forest with a similar setup. Also, it has been several months since I last shot out in the wild, so apologize for the lackluster beginning. I don't know why I took on this voice halfway through, but here we go, we can commit now. Everything you see here on out, besides the obvious GoPro footage, will be shot using that 50mm lens, including what you're seeing now. And since I hate people rambling on during review videos in fake British accents, I'm going to shut the fuck up and roll it. I think this is more Australian. Dude, just roll it. I feel like I haven't shot in forever, so it's like extra. Do you want to stand right here? Right here, yeah. Stand like right in front of the arrow. More, a little more. More. Come on. Okay, there. Right there. And then squat down like you were. This is moody, yes. Yes, girl, yes, queen, slay. All those, it's ye as fuck. You prefer to have the mask on, right? Okay. No, you're fine. Like, if you feel comfortable, then there's the people of YouTubers that have the fucking deal. Because we're in a pandemic, all right? You get what you get. A little bit? Yeah. without falling off or dying. Preferably.
Preferably.
Yeah.
I keep like falling over.
Alright. Okay, so we're about to go into the outro, which is the actual review of this lens. A quick note, I tried to re-record it since I sound a bit awkward, but my Sony's overheating and I need to put this out before my live stream today. So I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you all if this actually does well instead of getting just 100 views. Okay, bye. So the 50mm lens, what do I think? Well, considering I normally shoot manual focus lens that are, older than myself or my dad, and, migrated from a Nikon DSLR system, which never had something like eye autofocus or was even that great for run and gun filming, I'm still amazed by it years later. Sony hasn't paid me to say that, and I'm not about to start aiming for sponsorship, mainly because I hate the idea of having my speech filtered, especially if it means I can't criticize brands like Sony when I see them messing up. For example, I hate how these firmware updates for these cameras kind of always secretly lock out third-party batteries. But joke's on you, Sony, because RAV Power had a sale of these, and my camera hasn't blown up yet, so but anyways, yes, back to the lens. Yeah, what you've seen in other videos is true. This lens is mostly plastic, but I do have a history of beating my camera gear and this is still holding up. The focusing isn't internal and a bit noisy, but it's attached to a mirrorless camera that focuses within seconds, at least if you're shooting something like my A7 III. I'm not gonna trash it for the price point. These cheaper lenses might have been a problem in the early days of mirrorless cameras, back when batteries lasted maybe 5 minutes, but they're nowhere near as bad as people make them out to be these days. Again, can you just be amazed with that fact for a second? I seriously doubt you need to focus that fast in that many situations. Seriously, if you're looking up this video because you're just getting started and think you'll mostly, be starting out by taking portraits of your family, your partner, or even just selfies in the mirror when you think nobody's home, you're debating if this is worth it or if you'll have to be shelling out $100 more, close to $1,000 for a Zeiss or a 35mm just to improve your photography, you're gonna be fine with this lens. Because unless you're shooting hyper-specific things that demand extremely tight and lightning fast tracking, you can wait the split second this takes to autofocus, even in low light. What's really going to matter is your understanding of light and the scenes you're working with. And seriously, who the fuck is complaining about a lens making a noise? Like, the fuck? I know that's not exactly helpful, but this video is targeted to people who are just looking to see what this lens can do. So if you're on the lookout for a basic prime lens, you can't really go wrong with this, as it is a good general use lens. That's true whether you use this for photo or video. If I gave myself more time on this video and wasn't starving for food towards the end, I'm sure I could have gotten much more usable footage and b-roll as well. Seriously, I'm much more likely to go for this than I am my 85mm, which feels way too tight for me. Though again, full disclosure, this focal length is my go-to on most cameras when I don't have a zoom lens attached. The only reason I don't shoot this lens as often as I did years later isn't because it's a bad lens. It's more so because I am a YouTuber who shoots his own b-roll and normally carries another film body or two, and thus I lean more towards zoom lenses just to avoid having to swap out prime lenses. Not to say you couldn't do it, but I'm a lazy bastard. Now, if you're looking to shoot this at f1.8 like I tend to on this camera, your main concern will be overexposure if you are shooting in bright sunny conditions. I do recommend getting an ND filter for that, preferably a variable one that you can twist, just to help cut down on the light. And if you do that and require step-down lenses or step-down filters, make sure you kind of spray it with WD-40 if you get some cheap ones from Amazon, because they do tend to get stuck on lenses, especially this one, since the the filter's plastic. Also, if you're worried about the lack of in-lens stabilization, just remember these are Sony cameras with in-body stabilization. And if you're shooting at 120 frames per second, it's not gonna matter much anyways. I wasn't even trying to be stable for most of these shots that you saw in this video. Whether that's good enough for you is up to you. It does bear repeating though that this could all be my bias since I have not gone out to shoot in you know, forever because of this pandemic. But since I got the vaccine over a month ago and have been out of work for the past week, which means I haven't had to deal with COVID patients, and I wanted to try diving back into portraiture without carrying a ton of extra gear for an analog video. No, yeah, that all sounds like bias. I'm just happy to be out shooting again, my dudes. And since I don't want to miss another upload, here you go. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Also, hit that bell notification since YouTube does bury my content. Let me know if you'd like to see a part 2 of this. I was thinking about just taking this out on more ideal situations, but I want to see if the interest is there first. As I said, I normally do film-related content, but I figured I'd dabble in more mirrorless content since I care more about the end result than I do the process or medium. Not to say that this channel is, you know, rebranding. I'm just tired of, you know, being one of those film bros who pretend that digital doesn't have its place in my workflow. But enough rants, I will be leaving those of you who are still watching with some folk punk music and a slideshow of images I was too lazy to re-edit. All of those shots were on this lens using the A7 III, of course, but yeah. Now that I'm sobering up, until the next video, keep chasing that light.
And I just let the emotion flow right out, 'cause it's the only thing I know how to do. And I don't know where I'll end up in the world, as long as I can smile in the end. Day by day, everything's the same. I'm just looking for my way out. Day by day, everything remains. I'm just looking for my way out. And I'm not ready to work the rest of my life, have a family, grow old and die. And when you said it's gonna be okay, did you know you're lying to yourself? Did you know you're lying to us? Day by day, everything's the same. I'm just looking for my way out. Day by day, everything remains. I'm just looking for my way out. And I can almost feel the candle burning through all these faded photographs. And I can almost feel